EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier seemingly blocking Brexit plan from Boris Johnson from the British side in these Brexit negotiations, and the EU now publicly putting the chance of a deal being done at 50%. I'm going to bring you all the very latest in this report, guys, but as ever, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss future reports, and if you want to support my work, hit that join button to become a supporter of Real News. We'd really appreciate it. So let's start off with a report in the Express that Barnier blocks plan for Boris to hold Brexit showdown talks with EU chiefs to secure trade talks. Now this is interesting because, of course, the EU have been all over the place on this. One minute they were saying everything has to go through the negotiators, and then the next minute we sort of saw panicked briefings going out on the EU side, essentially saying we need Boris Johnson to pick up the phone for a deal. So look, they seem to change their mind with the wind on this stuff. But as I say, the Express reporting that Barnier has snubbed a British plan to use political leaders to break the deadlock in the Brexit trade and security talks. Now, of course, what we know on the British side is that Boris Johnson, I keep going back to it, but he did set out the 15th of October as a deadline by which there had to be a deal in the offing. Otherwise, the British government would walk away, would go no deal, would go WTO. That has come and gone. That simply hasn't happened. That points to Boris Johnson, the British government, seemingly willing to go on and on and on in these negotiations for a deal. But in terms of the Express report, the Brussels diplomat told a private meeting he refused an offer for Boris Johnson to begin political bargaining with his EU counterparts in order to find agreements in the rows over future access to Britain's fishing grounds and common standards. He claimed Downing Street wanted to trigger a big tug of war over as many as 30 unresolved issues in the hope of securing a number of concessions from the bloc, EU sources said. And again, this is reported by the Express. The Frenchman insisted the Prime Minister must not be able to hold a mass bargaining session with the likes of Angela Merkel and Ursula von der Leyen until any future relationship agreement is virtually completed. He warned Downing Street would attempt to play off access to Britain's coastal waters and the level playing field in such a high stakes showdown. One Brussels insider said Barnier was furious with continuous attempts to sideline him in favour of more lenient EU leaders. I keep telling them that's not going to happen, the bloc's Brexit chief said, according to sources. Now this is interesting because, as we've seen, as I've reported for a long time now on this channel, it keeps going back to really two core issues. One, fisheries, the devastating status quo, the French wanting to continue that. Truly mind-boggling that they haven't got their heads around the fact that Brexit is going to massively change things in terms of giving that big Brexit boost to coastal communities and the British fishing industry, which has been trashed and destroyed pretty much in the name of the EU policy. And of course, then there's the level playing field. We have, and I've said it countless times, the EU say, oh, there's no benefits to Brexit, there's no benefits to Brexit. Oh, but we want you to sign up to EU rules and restrictions so that you can't undercut us and get Brexit competitive advantage. That's something else, of course, that the British government must resist and must reject wholesale. Now, Nick Guttridge, another journalist who's all over this stuff, with some interesting comments backing up this point of Barnier blocking the British government, saying during private briefings this week, Michel Barnier said the UK side has been pressing for the Brexit talks to be kicked up to a higher political level, but he has pushed back, fearing Number 10 wants to turn the last few days of negotiations into a mass bargaining session. The EU's chief negotiator sees Britain's strategy as trying to orchestrate a tug of war between Boris Johnson, Ursula von der Leyen, Merkel, Macron, during which the three topics of fisheries, the level playing field and governance would be played off against each other. The thinking goes a leader-level intervention worked for the withdrawal agreement with the PM, Juncker, Varadkar, so why not do it again? Barnier said he's open to a few select topics being passed upward at the very end, but the UK wants to leave as many as 30 issues open. He is said to have expressed frustration and accused the UK of not understanding how the EU works. Sources reported him as saying, I keep telling them that's not going to happen. You can't have things going up to that level that haven't been gone over with a fine-tooth comb. In a generally gloomy assessment, the EU's chief negotiator said the talks are currently not on a trajectory to get a deal, and there won't be one unless the UK changes its approach. especially on level playing field and fishing, where he said the EU has shown willingness to compromise. Of course, that's the EU position. Unlike the mainstream media, we don't swallow it as gospel on this channel. In the EU position of wanting to maintain anything like the status quo on fisheries and wanting the UK to sign up to ridiculous policy restrictions is frankly dreamland. I continue. Nick Guttridge. Barnier expressed a wariness at the UK's repeated portrayal of the tariff and quota deal on the table as low value and just Canada style. He said this is a communication tactic the EU needs to push back against, and it's actually an economically high value deal. He said Brits hypocritically talk about a simple FTA when it suits them, like a level playing field, but in other areas push for much greater access. EU diplomat, this is not a flimsy trade agreement. This is serious stuff. If all you want is a Canada-style deal, only ask for that. Well, we've seen, again, mixed messages on the EU side. Publicly, sometimes they've said, yes, Canada. Sometimes they said, no, you can't have that. So, I mean, come on, let's get real here. As for the Brits, Nick Guttridge concludes, they're relaxed about such noises coming out of Brussels, which they say are always expected after Barnier does his internal briefings. UK officials are focused on securing a breakthrough in next week's talks. Barnier and Frost reconvene in London on Sunday. So certainly from a negotiation point of view, it doesn't look like things are going to be coming to an end anytime soon. And I ask again, how much longer are the British government willing to allow these negotiations to go on, seemingly going round and round in circles on fisheries, on the level playing field, without walking away? Is this going to go till the end of November? Is it going to go into December? Let me know what you think about that, guys. Now, the Politico reporting the EU Commissioner is saying there's a 50-50 chance of a Brexit trade deal being done. That's according to Thierry Breton, the EU Internal Market Commissioner. And he says that there's 50-50 chance, as there always has been. The EU, he says, is extremely clear on the conditions of accessibility of our European market. Adding, we are an open continent, but we have rules, and whoever wants to access the internal market has to respect these rules. Breton as well saying that the UK has more to lose than the EU from a no-deal exit. It's evident, he said, and I think the British Prime Minister knows it. That's where we are with the Brexit negotiations, guys. Those are the latest comments. Let me know below in the comments what you make of all of this. Do you think Boris Johnson is going to walk away? What do you make of Michel Barnier seemingly blocking this British approach? Is it surely now time to walk away? Let me know what you think, guys. And as ever, if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful and informative, please help me out by giving this video a big thumbs up and click the join button to become a supporter. Would really appreciate that as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great weekend.